It really is one of the great mysteries of the Second World War. Had the Nazis really developed a craft that was invisible to radar, able to outmaneuver enemy aircraft and travel across the globe at hypersonic speed? I mean, it sounds like something from science fiction, but there are many who believe they came very close.
There was a lot of supposition towards the end of the Second World War that the Nazi Air Force, the Luftwaffe, were experimenting with fighter planes and bombers that were faster and more dangerous than the Hurricane or the Spitfire. They felt that they had got the worst of every aerial battle in which they'd been engaged with our men, and so they were looking for superior weaponry.
I think it's very likely that the Nazis were trying to evolve all sorts of new types of aircraft. We have to remember that at the start of World War II, aircraft design was still, relatively speaking, in its infancy. So new ideas were being tried out all the time. Hitler in particular and the big generals around him were very interested in wonder weapons. And the more desperate they became, the more interested they were in wonder weapons.
The reality is that if they had developed a UFO, then it was too late to turn around their fortunes in the war. But newly released documents and deathbed confessions from scientists involved in top-secret Nazi development paints a picture of a race to develop a supercraft, codenamed Die Glocke, or the Bell, which would have changed the face of history forever. In fact, the idea of the Nazis developing a flying saucer wasn't such a crazy idea at all. They had for years been at the cutting edge of aircraft design, with early prototypes for vertical takeoff jets and even fixed wing and stealth technology.
So whatever it was that the Nazis were doing here, whatever experiments they were doing here, they wanted to make sure that no one got anywhere near it.
Not only that, but also, despite the fact that thousands of prisoners were working here, mostly underground, obviously, no one of them has survived.
Why is that?
It's just because they were, according to the German nomenclature, bearers of the secrets. So they had no right physically to leave this place anytime. If they came here, they were sentenced to remain here forever.
So they came here to work and they came here to die?
Exactly. What they were doing here was something much larger, which incorporated all these facilities, research posts, and so on. It was codenamed Sonderbauvorhaben S3, which means Special Construction Undertaking S3. And it is written in the document that it was the most important such an undertaking of the SS during the entire war. They were planning to make a giant underground complex the size of a city. And probably it would be something serving the production and research of the strategic weapons of a completely new kind. Something that would give them a victory in the war.
So you're saying this was the most significant secret project that the Nazis carried out during the war?
Yes, I also have a document which says that the project on which they worked was officially described, it wasn't a nickname, it was an official reference in documents as something that will change the course of war, decisive for the war.
Just imagine if those hyper-fast German craft could have reached Moscow, could have reached London, could have reached New York. What would have happened? We were right on the brink of that delivery being made. It could have changed history.
Where does this take us?
This would take us under the center of the hinge of the test rig.
Right.
It goes just under the center and goes further to the power plant.
And so down here was where they would have carried out their experiments, huh?
On a deeper level, yes, but generally here. This is the same complex.
Right.
In the last stages of World War II, the Nazis developed a wealth of very, very advanced, even exotic projects in aviation and rocketry. There are hundreds of different blueprints for even very bizarre airplanes, and most of them were jet-propelled, and they were something completely different from the technology that the Allies had in their hands at that time.
By definition, a UFO means an unidentified flying object. But most people these days take a UFO to mean a flying saucer or an interstellar spacecraft of some sort. If we're talking about the real meaning of UFO, then clearly the Nazis, like the Allies, were indulging in that kind of behaviour.
I think the Nazis were undoubtedly playing around with new technology at the time, propulsion technologies, and magnetic technologies as well. And I think what we've done is we've added the word UFO post, you know, and so it fits a nice picture of what we see today. But I don't think they were building what they thought as interstellar craft. These were new technologies of the time.
Blocked up.
Yes, that's as far as we can go. There is, we can feel the current of the air, so it leads somewhere. We may be sure of that, but
And that's a shame because whatever they were working on is further down behind this block
yes,
wall.
it's Lothar.
I think I can see a UFO down there.
So, did the Nazis really build UFOs, or was it clever cover for something else? The evidence seems to point to a highly classified flying craft with an exotic propulsion system. And when you consider the length that they went to hide their test facilities, it was obviously something of paramount importance.